Welcome. This is the first episode of the Spark, the Climb, and the Ascendancy. And today I am super excited just to spend a little bit of time with you. This probably won't be a full-length episode as we got a bunch of exciting guests lined up. But I just wanted to spend a little bit of time framing up why I created this, how I want to engage and have a whole different conversation and different dialogue when it comes to, I think, business and the rule book that we use when it comes to business. I do think that there is a deep transformation occurring on this planet that's calling us to really align and step in, number one, to who we are. Who is the truest and most honest and highest version of you? We are being called forth to that, to bring that to this planet at this time. We need all of us here activated in our gifts. And how do you remove all the societal norms and things that we think we're supposed to be? You know, we're the most incredible, magical beings ever created on the face of this planet. And we are here to actualize and find ourselves and to understand that we have to tune in to those gifts and reveal ourselves and be authentic and transparent and real and, quite honestly, derobed and naked, to really expose ourselves. And so that's also my role, is to disarm and disrobe myself, for you, the audience, of who is Erin? Why did she create this? What is she here to do? And part of that realization is also stepping into exactly who I am, and owning every single magical gift that God, source, divine, the universe has given me, and to own that unapologetically. Like, it might seem weird to certain people. It might be a little off-putting to others. It might be like, how does she know that? But the magic really is in stepping into those gifts. When I think of what gifts I have a natural ability to really tap in, not only to individuals, but into businesses, and to really energetically sense what's going on, what's broken, and how do you help organizations get back to their why? Why did they come into inception on this planet? They came here for a reason, to be in service of other human beings, to do good in the world, to bring forth and experience products, you name it. That's what they was brought here. And so it's so important for us to understand, like, everything is energetics. We are always working in alignment with universal laws and universal principles that are ancient. They predate time. We are in service of them and to them. And whether we think that they're in play when it comes to business, there is no separation. There is only one of us here. There is only one consciousness here, whether that's us as human individuals, whether that's us as businesses, and the energetics of what we're serving in the world. Like, the more we understand how we're interconnected, how we work in divine force with the universe, how those principles, whether it's the law of one from Ra, whether it's the Hermetic principles, whether it's principles that we've learned from the Bible, whether it's principles we learned from Buddha, whether it's principles we learned from Jesus and the Essene Gospels and who he is, and how do those natural laws rule us? How are we in unison with the universe as a whole? How do we support and work in conjunction with the divine feminine, which is Mother Nature? How do we work in unison with the divine masculine, which is God, the God force in the heavens above? We all possess divine masculine and feminine energies within us. Each cell within our body has a masculine force and a feminine force within it. One that's reproducing, that's the feminine, and one that's creating structure, which is the masculine. You know, we are in a war for humanity. We are here to remember and be in a remembrance of our humanness, which is the most magical thing, more magical than any technology, anything that we could ever create, is the remembrance of our divinity as a human being. We are divine, divine beings. Um, Recently, I've come across this gentleman named Greg, and I'll have to find his last name, but he talks about how what our DNA even spells in all the ancient languages is God within the body, God within the body. Like we are gods. We harness and have the power of the universe. And how many of us look at ourselves as divine? And I think one of the things I really want to rewrite in the rule book that I think has been so lost is this concept of like there's somebody outside of us that's going to have any type of answer for us. Actually, the real magic that occurs is when we actually tap into ourselves, when we tune in to what's my unique spark and what's my unique path. And there is not one person out there that has the answer for us. We have the answer within ourselves. And I think great teachers, great leaders, all are people that are just activating that force within you. It is not somebody that's like, I've figured out all the answers. I think there is so much in our society today that is predicated on negativity, negative energy, negative beliefs, the ego, like, I know you don't. Let me tell you, I have the answer. I figured it out. Let me tell you, this is how you can do X, Y, or Z. I see it play out really in the coaching space. And if you tune into most of those people, and if you really got good at reading energy, you'd realize that the vast majority of coaches are, quite honestly, a farce. They're lying to you. Their marketing is a lie. They're not being honest when it comes to how to grow, which is you activating within you, how to figure that out. That doesn't mean that there's not resources out there that it's like, you know what, I feel really called to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm going to step into that. And that makes sense. And okay, this person's an expert at that. That feels aligned for me. But I see so many people, create from lack and then they attract lack. So if you're in a space of where you don't trust yourself or you feel not enough or something's not going right and you're like, okay, who's going to give that to me? What are you going to attract from that standpoint? Because we know like attracts like. So if you're in a state of deficit or despair or unease, or I'm lacking, I need more money, I need more. Well, you're going to attract somebody that's saying they can do all those things, but in the all actuality, they're in the same space that you are. They're not out there putting out great energy into the world, because if they did, they would naturally be attracting. They wouldn't have to predicate upon your fears and what you perceive as a problem if they weren't trying to like think that that was the way to go. Like, I think that that's a trend in marketing we're going to see reversed. It's like, what's their pain points? What are they having problems with? Like, let's speak to that. How about we start speaking to people's highest selves? Is this you? Do you feel called to a deeper purpose and you feel it and you know it, but you haven't been unable to articulate that into the world? Do we lead by example to go, you know what, I'm going to unveil myself and totally disrobe, totally show who I am, what I'm about, like that to me is true leadership. Let me tell you all the places I failed. Let me tell you all the places where I've had to learn and grow. Let me tell you all the lessons that I've learned, because that's where the power is at. The power lies in our vulnerability. The power lies in our truth. The power lies in trust, trusting ourselves, trusting the universe. Like if I am worried about who's going to receive this and who's going to like this and who's going to land with this, then I'm not going to record the most authentic, real, vulnerable podcast that hopefully you as individuals just resonate with. For me, this is about stepping in to a new era, to a new world in which we all get to be ourselves. And in being ourselves and in trusting ourselves and in having radical self-love and radical self-acceptance and fully receiving who we are as individuals, if each individual did that work and showed up in every aspect of their life, that we don't play a bunch of different roles. There's only one of us here. So even though, yes, I'm a mother, yes, I'm a businesswoman, yes, I'm a business broker, yes, I help people with business exit strategies, yes, I do commercial real estate, yes, I record podcasts, yes, I do leadership coaching and leadership training. Yes, I wear all those hats, but who is in service to that is Aaron. Aaron is the only one here that gets to show up. So the work I have to do on myself translates into every aspect of my life. I don't need to compartmentalize or be somebody different. I just need to be Aaron. And I think that that is such a foreign concept in our society, because it's like when we think about, are we in service of self? Are we in service of receiving ourselves? Because when we receive ourselves and when we love ourselves and when we trust ourselves, what does that give us access to? Infinite resources that are supporting us. And I think that at the end of the day, we have to authentically and vulnerably step into every aspect of who we are. And I think that that's the venue that I want to create for every human being, is how do you step into the truest version of you? And when you do that, how are you then in service of others? Because when you're in service of self, you're going to naturally be in service of others. And there's a lot to unwind and there's a lot to unpack and of how that actually truly works. But at the end of the day, there is there's an ease of which this isn't as complicated as we've made it. And so I just want to facilitate a whole different conversation, a different conversation around who individuals are, how they activate and give their gifts to others, how we have a different dialogue when it comes to everything. Quite honestly, how can we open our hearts and listen? Because when we are in a state of love and self-acceptance, we are in a state of love and self-acceptance with every other human being. When we're in a state of trust of self, we radiate out to the rest of the world a state of trust with them. Like if I'm in a place of dis-ease or distrust, well, guess what? Every person I interact with, I'm going to have that mirrored back to me. That's how the universe works. It's giving us back what we already think and believe of ourselves. So if we are in a state of lack, guess what? We're only going to perpetuate more lack. Yeah, there might be moments where it's like, oh, yay, this is great. But for the vast majority of the time, we're going to keep having that come up against us. There's not a full change. And when we think about who are the most successful people in this world, they're the ones that are in the true embodiment of self, that are willing to unveil and be 100% authentic and vulnerable around who they are. And we need to activate more of that. And when we do that, we're going to come into a greater understanding of others around us. And so this is something that's been on my heart for a very, very long time. And part of the reason why it's taken me so long to launch it and come to fruition is I had to come into full acceptance of myself, of who is Erin? What are all the weird magical gifts that she has? And I have a lot, so I'm not going to tell you all of them today. But as we go through our time together, I'm going to unveil those and how I've tapped into those and how I've tuned in. Like I've had many of these gifts for a very long time. And sometimes we don't even know where they come from, which is amazing and magical. That's the magic. But then we also suppress them to fit into society, and that's a problem. And I'm here to help people activate their weird. I'm here to people to step into their fullest expression of themselves. I'm here to be a mirror to help people grow and learn and to step into who they are. I'm not here to perpetuate that I have any answer. I'm not here to share with you that I have figured it out because we're on a journey. I don't know if there's anything that's ever figured out. Every day, in every moment, I'm learning and growing. And that's the beauty of the journey of humanity is like we are on a perpetual growth. And my job is to just stay open. My job is to just receive. And so what I ask as listeners is receive what is meant for you in each one of these. It's going to be different for every single individual that hears this, that listens to it, and that there's an opportunity for us to build a greater community and to connect. So when I bring on my guests in the future, it's just an opportunity to facilitate a conversation, invite you into their world, invite you into mine, and to share what their life experience has been. And there may be things that resonate that you connect with, that you want to engage and connect with that person. Like that's why we're here. And we're here to really activate each other and build community. And so I just feel so grateful. When I think of like what's my greatest role on earth is being Erin, and Erin is a conduit and a vessel for the divine. And I am here to hold space, to facilitate a conversation, to bring in a greater consciousness, to evolve and change the world at a very high level. And I have a lot of expertise in doing that. And I want to continue to engage and grow and build that. And I think that's so powerful. And that's why I'm here, is to be a vessel for all. And so yeah, I can't wait to explore and connect and hear your hearts, and learn from all of you. And to understand we may not always have the same vantage point, but what you will find in the truest fashion of me is that we will have undying respect for every human that's on this podcast, that we will hear with our hearts and not with our ears, and that we will expand. We are going to expand our mind into new horizons. And how do we bring that into every facet of our business, into every facet of our lives? I can't disconnect who Erin is and all the magic when I come in to do, whether it's consulting work for a business, whether it's a leadership retreat, whether it's brokering a business or completing a commercial real estate deal. I don't get to shift who I am. those aspects of me are always at play and they're powerful and they aid me in what I do. And so stepping into those gifts really help me connect and deliver and service my clients on a much higher level, because I'm tapped into those and they're unique to me. Um, and I think that's what we're all here to discover. And so I cannot wait for the journey of this podcast, where it meanders, where it goes. And so I look forward to ascending together on this journey, on this climb that we have, and to find the spark within you of why you got incarnated on this planet during this time, because we all have a really big purpose. And so let's discover that, let's engage in that, and let's have a totally different conversation that's being had anywhere else, that's open, that's respectful, that's transcendent, and moves us forward as a human collective.